So it was a challenge for sure. When a Scandinavian company enters countries like India or America, I think there's definitely a culture clash. So there'll be an Indian management team or there'll be American management, people who've been brought up in a more hierarchical kind of org structure. But when you come to understand, because we are all of us key people who go to Sweden, visit, understand the roots of IKEA and Scandinavian culture and so on. There's a lot of emphasis on culture. In fact, they hire us after a culture check. One of the first things.
Hi everyone, a lot of you guys have been asking me this question, sir, what makes a person different in life? Is it IIT IIM or it's much more beyond that? We got Professor Navin with us. Hi Navin sir, welcome on board.
Hi Sumit.
This is so amazing. IIT Chennai, IIM Lucknow. Sir, when did you finish your IIM Lucknow?
I passed out in 93.
93?
Yeah.
That's, most of these guys are not even born. By the way, sir was instrumental in the IKEA story. He's worked in IKEA for about 13 years.
Yes.
13 years. और इंडिया का जो स्टोर ओपनिंग हुआ था, earlier IKEA was in the purchase business. इंडिया में IKEA already है 1980 से है ना सर?
Since 80s.
Since 80s in IKEA, we never heard about it. And you know what these guys are doing? They were sourcing the India products and sending abroad.
Absolutely.
And nobody knows about that. And we thought IKEA is all about bringing outside products in India from the day they have the retail chain. Today we're going to hack the IKEA story. Let's begin, sir. पहले सर मुझे थोड़ा अपने बारे में और बताइए. So you did your schooling for 7 years in?
So I lived a part of my early childhood in the Andaman Nicobar Islands. My dad was a bank manager and he went to Great Nicobar. You know the last island in the island chain?
Okay,
it's called the last one, not Port Blair and all. The last one, okay? The last one is closer to Indonesia than it is to anything else. Okay. And that is the southernmost tip of India. It's more south than Kanyakumari.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So I lived in that crazy remote part of the world. And we would connect with the rest of humanity once in a month. Okay, that day was called the ship day. Because once in a month a ship would come bringing vegetables and newspapers and magazines from the rest of the world. Otherwise we are cut off for 1 month all by ourselves in remote island.
That's like 30 years back?
That was more than 30 years back because I'm 53 now, so like I must be a 5-year-old kid.
Oh my, 45 years back.
Yeah.
I can show you. So like movie एक cast में मुझे वो वाली feeling आ रही है.
Yeah, almost like that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And how was the teaching there and how was everything?
There was no education actually, as there were no schools really. It was being settled. It was a time when India was settling people, ex-servicemen, army men and all indoors to settle there and populate it and all. So there was no good school. So my mom taught me at home. I was homeschooled for a few years and my education started when we moved to Port Blair, the capital, after 4 years. And that is when I started studying in class 4. So in that sense, my education is probably a little incomplete.
So you didn't do your first, second, third?
No. I straight away joined.
IIT जाना और IIM जाना है. 1, 2, 3 school मत जाओ. सीधा 4th से start हो जाओ. Go in an island and chill there. This is so amazing, sir. This is so amazing. Great. And how did the IKEA journey started? I mean, when did it start?
So I joined IKEA in about 2005 and it's very interesting because before that for 12 years I worked in the automotive industry. I worked with Maruti for 12 years and then with JCB for 5 years and with New Holland for a year. So I was an automotive hardcore purchasing supply chain guy, and then through one connection or the other I got to know the HR manager of IKEA.
Okay.
And she called me for a discussion and I went for that discussion, and Anu she was called, and we had a great discussion. It went off really well and she said you can apply your purchasing skills out here. Here also we are purchasing, you're a supply chain guy, maybe you can apply your purchasing skills to buy furniture instead of. And I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And so it was a leap of faith for me, and it sounded like a fun company, it sounded like a young company.
A new company, fresh blood,
fresh. And so it sounded really exciting. It had a great value and culture. You know, Scandinavian culture is probably the most interesting of the various nationality cultures. It's a lot about being casual, it's about flat hierarchy, it's about respecting people, and it's a lot about consensus-based decision making. So it's not a hierarchical top-down.
So true. So I was in Scandinavia, sir, about 2 weeks back.
Right.
Yeah, I was in Finland, Stockholm. We were discussing that.
Right.
So I totally love the people. You go to a store, I mean a normal 7-Eleven store or a Coop store.
Yeah.
You've been to Stockholm.
Yes.
You go to a Coop store and you ask like, where is this guy? India में आप जाओगे तो you know Zara के अंदर you ask them like where to go, they're like आगे left जाके right जाके देख लो मिलता है तो. This girl used to leave her counter and used to come with me and show me like, okay, this is the place. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And Denmark, Sweden, Finland, these 3 countries that I visited. I mean, so amazing, so amazing. So you can see the culture of IKEA. So ये culture क्या है sir? How did these guys bring their culture first of all to different parts of the world?
So it was a challenge for sure. When a Scandinavian company enters countries like India or America, I think there's definitely a culture clash. So there'll be an Indian management team or there'll be American management, people who've been brought up in a more hierarchical kind of org structure. But when you come to understand, because we are all of us poor key people who go to Sweden, visit, understand the roots of IKEA and Scandinavian culture and so on. There's a lot of emphasis on culture. In fact, they hire us after a culture check. One of the first things that they check is there a culture and a value fit? And a fit doesn't mean perfect fit. It means is there a fair overlap? Okay, nobody is going to be exactly the perfect.
A loose fit, then we can couple it.
And then they teach us about it, talk about it. So gradually, I think all of us get into that mode. I came from the automotive industry, from a hierarchical, tell people what to do and get things done and
stand in the line, 9 a.m. in the morning, attendance.
Doesn't work in IKEA.
Yeah.
A few months into IKEA, I was pulled up by the CEO. He said, Navin, I've got to hear that you're a bit pushy and you yell at suppliers and stuff. I said, isn't that the done thing? I said, no, it's not done in IKEA. And so I learned and I evolved as a person, as a human being, as my leadership style evolved, I think, in IKEA. So I just loved it. I thought I would work with IKEA for life. Then, of course,
then he said like done.
Life takes different.
But before that, before you get done with IKEA, sir is a professor, by the way. Sir is full time in Soil Institute?
I spend 2 days a week here.
2 days a week here. That's lovely. And what do you teach? Operations?
I teach operations management. I'm teaching project management, right?
Acha, oh, lovely, lovely. I mean, how would it be, sir, teaching something when you lived that life multiple times? It'll be like, जब पढ़ा रहे होंगे दिमाग में आता होगा ना पूरा story चलता होगा.
Yes, I think it helps me correct as a person who's been in the corporate world, who's teaching. I think the difference between academicians might know a lot more about project management that I might know. So for me, I have to study and then teach and relate. But I think I'm able to connect it to things that happen at work, which makes it more real for business students, because business students are looking for why are we learning this stuff?
Right. And your own stories, you know.
And my personal.
And as a teacher, when you have this story, I'm also a teacher, sir. जब मैं कोई चीज पढ़ा रहा होता हूँ, तो when there's a connect between me and my past, and I deliver it better.
Yes.
You know, I deliver it much more better. Rather than it's theory. Theory is like, you know, faking it, being honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's like chart बना दिया, ये भाई principal है, national hierarchy है, इसके ऊपर ये, इसके ऊपर क्या भाई? Great. So let's go back to IKEA. Design. Why? How? So beautiful, so cheap, available everywhere. Masses. Now Amazon as well.
Yes. No, Amazon marks it up. Amazon price will be more expensive than the IKEA price.
Oh, I didn't know that, sir. I spent a lot of money.
20% more at least.
Oh shit. I have all the IKEA mugs in my home. My table lamps.
The bang mug.
The
full story behind it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's that?
The bang mug was originally a mug which was very difficult to stack. Okay. And then they realized that it took up a lot of volume, because if you imagine mugs which are like put together, there's a lot of air.
Yeah.
So then they redesigned the bang mug to bring down the cost dramatically, to make it like half the price.
Yeah.
They made it so that it was stackable. So those mugs fit into each other.
Yeah. So when things become stackable, it becomes cheaper for sure. Great. And what's with the design, sir? Stockholm overall is beautiful.
Stockholm is beautiful, but by the way, IKEA's headquarters, the center of design and the heart of IKEA is in a small town called Älmhult.
Älmhult, okay.
Yeah. So Älmhult is in the south of Sweden, and Älmhult, no, it's not part of IKEA. You know, the name IKEA stands for Ingvar Kamprad Elmtarid Agunarid.
Okay.
This is the town in the village where he grew up. So, but Älmhult is another town where he moved to, and basically the headquarters of IKEA is there. All the design people sit there. A lot of design is outsourced, as in you have some specialist designers coming as well. But that's the heart of IKEA. He wanted to keep it simple. It's a town of less than 10,000 people, and it's still the headquarters of IKEA is there.
Nice.
So the essential design principle of Scandinavian design is about simplicity in design, and the focus on low cost is always there.
Great. And not compromising on quality. Somehow, then, मुझे IKEA 100% quality but I would buy IKEA mugs, or buy IKEA table lamps, maybe a stand, maybe a book rack, but not my bed.
I think you have a point. Sumit, I wouldn't completely disagree with you. IKEA realized this about 10 years back and started increasing the focus on quality. Realized that some of our products are not really durable. And if it's not durable, it's not truly sustainable. And I think IKEA has had a massive rethinking. Particularly when we entered India, we realized Indian customers said, it needs to be heavy. It needs to be solid. Otherwise, it's not good quality.
40 saal.
Yes.
Our
10 years and all is nothing.
Nothing.
True. I think IKEA has to relearn some of these things. And I think there are some products definitely need to be.
Unlike Europe, it's like they have like car boot sales, like in the UK. कुछ चीज पसंद नहीं आया तो अपने बूट में डालो, कार में डालो, वहां जाके संडे को रख दो, कुछ लोग आएंगे $1 में, नहीं बेचना तो बेच दो, नहीं बेचना तो घर के बाहर रख दो.
करेक्ट.
That's it. I mean
लोग उठा के ले जाते.
लोग उठा के पूरा सोफा ये वाला अच्छा पसंद नहीं है, बाहर रख दो. For that kind of mind setup is good. And repairability भी तो नहीं है सर वहाँ पे.
Repairability भी कम है, वो बढ़ा रहे हैं. That is another dimension we started looking into. And the most new important dimension that we're looking at right now is sustainability. Meaning, what is the raw material? Where is it coming from? Can it be recycled? And what is the end of life? And when you use it, is it sustainable? So these are aspects that I keep.
Sir, I know we can keep talking. You're a busy guy, but sir ये मुझे बड़ा मजा आ रहा है कि मेरे लिए लाइफ बिजनेस केस स्टडी चल रहा है. 13 साल ने कंपनी सर आप चलते फिरते केस स्टडी जो हम हार्वर्ड केस स्टडी घर पे नहीं पढ़ पाते. एंड आई के द हार्वर्ड केस स्टडी.
Many, quite a few
Harvard case study. Sir, what does it take to a company become an IKEA or a Tata or a Reliance or something which comes from Stockholm? Stockholm is small.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Sweden is small. I mean, India is big. Not that, but
Sweden's population is less than that of Delhi's.
Come on, sir.
10 million people.
And how these things, these companies, end of the day, sir, leave company. It's human being. यहाँ पर मेरे जैसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने IKEA किया है. आज हम ये crazy about IKEA mugs दिखा रहे हैं, बात कर रहे हैं, incorporation इतना amazing है.
Yeah.
What's the differentiating factor?
So I think these companies have a truly visionary founder. So Ingvar Kamprad was a man that I unfortunately never met, but I've seen him from close quarters and heard him speak and so on. He was a truly visionary man, a passionate man. And when he was a young boy in Sweden, I was just telling my class today, I was talking about project management. In that context, I was talking about IKEA and strategy and so on. And I said, you need a vision. And this man's vision was, he saw that there was beautiful furniture selling in Sweden, but he realized that this beautiful furniture was only for the rich people. And he was like deeply frustrated and irritated that why does good furniture have to be so expensive? Surely it doesn't cost so much money. And he said, I'm going to make furniture, good quality, well-designed furniture available to the common man. And he just went out of his way, sourced furniture from Poland and from all countries which made excellent furniture. And he undercut all these fellows. And in fact, these guys who were selling expensive furniture got irritated with him. They all gathered together and tried to kick him out and stuff. They tried to boycott him and stuff. But he fought all those battles. And because his prices were so low and the furniture was so good, volumes picked up. They kept growing. The idea exploded. And he found more and more suppliers. And so it's like you reduce the cost. The cost of buying goes down, the selling price comes down, the volumes go up, the volumes go up, you're able to adopt better manufacturing practices and your overhead costs come down, the price comes down again, so the suppliers keep lowering the price, he keeps lowering the selling price, so it's not that he's making more and more margins. And that virtuous cycle builds on itself and he just cracked it.
Wow. Economics of scale.
Absolutely. That was the key for him. So you need a brilliant vision, an excellent operational implementation. You need to create a culture which is consistent, which you need to live. Culture should not, values sit on some companies' walls.
Yeah, sir.
They don't live it.
People have to speak about it. Did they, like I worked in GE, sir, 106-year-old company. We have like, they took us to, क्या है हमारे main center का नाम? The Cotton Mill. The Cotton Mill Learning Center. It's like an amazing place. So 1 month when you join GE, you go there.
Yeah.
And then they whitewash you. And then we say like breed GE, you know. I mean, मेरा भी सर खून निकालेंगे मैं GE की बात करूँगा.
Right.
Also, I tell my friends and family like one company to die for is General Electric.
Right.
So
I feel the same way about IKEA. We had this. We would also go there and we saw the wall. So there's this famous IKEA wall. There's an IKEA museum. There's the first store that they set up. There was this big milk pail. We go to Ingvar's house. So we have a wonderful cultural immersion and.
ये चीज़ सर बहुत है. मुझे लगता है इंडिया में ये चीज़ अभी मिसिंग है. You know, culture comes with history. Culture is history. Yeah. So I went to the ABBA museum.
Right.
In Sweden, if you've been there.
Right. No, I've not been to the ABBA museum, but I.
It's right in the city. Yeah. So ABBA is also like Swedish band and they rule the world and the same thing and you know, the dancing queen stuff. So, but yeah, I missed that. Maybe in the next time. This is so amazing. Boys and girls, hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. If yes, do it on the like button. Any questions you have about IKEA or any more companies or what comes to your mind for Sir as well, drop in the comments. I'll pick up best of the comments and I'll ship you something from IKEA. Yes, sir?
Okay, done. Deal.
This is so amazing, sir. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा and let's continue the discussion. What do you guys have to think more about this topic? Yeah, IKEA, India, इंडियन प्रोडक्ट बाहर जा रहा है, फिर वापस आ रहा है और हमें ही दोबारा सेल किया जा रहा है. But think more about it and discuss in the comments. Thank you so much. Thanks. It was lovely interacting with you.
Same here.
Have a great day. Take care, boys and girls. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.